Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of Music Babble. Today we have a very special guest, singer, songwriter, excellent musician here, Julius Dilligard Jr.
Hey.
All right, and we're just going to talk about life as a musician. You know, especially like in New York, how that's lifestyle is.
Yeah,
So
the New York scene.
yeah. So first thing is, when did you start playing music?
When did I start playing? I guess I got to start with the fact that I started singing first. I grew up in Brooklyn. My father actually played piano by ear, but he used to. We didn't have a piano at the time, but somehow I knew he played piano by ear. I think he talked about it. Um, he used to play Johnny Mathis, Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, all these great singers. When he was ever chilling out from work, he'd just sit there. I remember him sitting in the living room with his pipe, smoking his pipe, and his music would be on, man. And I loved his music, and I would just start learning some of the songs, and I would sing along. I must have been around 9, 10 years old, and so that's how I started. I just started singing, and at one point, I guess I was pretty decent because my father had a club, like a social business club. They used to do outings, like bus outings, and clubs with events with churches, right? Hundreds of people. He was in this business club, and he was having a meeting with his guys, and he called me out. He called me Junior. Junior, come out here. I want you to sing something for everybody. I was like, what? And I don't know what I sang, but I sang something, and it must have been okay. But that was my introduction
Wow.
into singing in front of an audience. I mean, I was, very nervous and all that, but I did it because I knew them. They knew me, his club members, And that was my first introduction. And then when I got into junior high school, I was in what's it called, the choral group singing. And the music teacher said to me one day, just called me aside and said, how would you like to learn to play an instrument? And I said, yeah, sure. Wow. I mean, it was like an honor. Wow. I wasn't even thinking about it. He took me into the band room where all these instruments were. I looked around all these instruments and I saw this big instrument. And I said, oh, he said, well, which one would you like to play? I said, how about play that? It was the tuba. What did I know? I picked the biggest thing I could see.
I want the big one.
Long story short, I must have played it. I must have learned to play it for about a month because at that time it was a time called open enrollment. This is a little sad, but it's a little funny. Back at that time, they were like sending open enrollment means like they were sending kids from like the ghetto neighborhoods into like more white areas and stuff like that for school. And me and my friend we wrote down that we wanted to do that, and so we were picked to go to this school called Bensonhurst in Brooklyn. And we got to the school, and then the other brothers or sisters, Black, Latinos, whatever, came from different parts of Brooklyn, wound up at this school. And we kind of just meet each other for the first time, but what we found was, we had guys going like, we're going to get you after school, blah, 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 white kids, and I came from a neighborhood where we were always fighting. Among ourselves, like one building against the other building or something like that. Or what project where you from, So, I mean, we just basically, my viewpoint was like, okay, they're going to do something. We'll just kind of come together as a community, us black folks, brown folks, we'll just deal with it. After school, we get out there after school, we don't see the guys that are our age. We see like their uncles, their fathers. I'm going like, oh, that. Oh, and they had bats and stuff, and they basically chased us to the subway station, which was like about 2 blocks away. And to me, the funny part, that basically what it was is that I don't recall anybody ever really getting hurt. I mean, I never heard of anybody getting hurt. But they just kind of chased us. They just kind of like was trying to scare us,
Jeez.
But that's the thing. I mean, like I thought we were gonna just be dealing with our peers, you know. But these guys are, and like these, and some of these guys were Italian and this and that. And they were like, you know, I wasn't into a lot of these guys were weightlifting. You could see these guys, muscle bound guys. Oh,
Oh man.
here I am, like a little kid, 13, 14 years old. And but I came back to the music teacher. Here's the thing: I went back to the music teacher, and I said, "You got anything smaller?" Because I used to run to the subway station with my trombone.
Okay, all right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't be running with this trombone, man. This is too much. I said, man, you got something smaller. So that's when I picked up trombone. And I learned trombone. I played that. I had a beautiful trombone teacher that was right in the area. His name was Charles Levine. He was a funny guy. He made it. He was a jolly guy, you know, like big dude, not fat, but like big, you know, big guy, tall, muscle, you know. But he was so cool to work with. I really had fun working with him, and that's where I started. I learned trombone, and then from there, at the same time I was still singing, you know, different singing groups and stuff like that. So I was doing both. God, you asked me a question because I could just go.
No, that's fine.
Kind of rolls itself out.
So, well, did playing trombone actually make it give you? Did it make it easier for you to learn, like to sing, like more lung power, or was it the other way around?
Well, trombone, I think connected. Now that you're asking me that, I think trombone I related more to my voice somehow in terms of range and things like that. I kind of made a connection with trombone. And I used to do things like, you know, some like jazz improv that and then I would do, you know, make sounds. I can't do it right now. It's early in the morning, but like, if I was warmed up, I could do, you know. I mean, I would get more into some real nice sounds. So I connected with trombone. And I was in some bands. I was in a band called Stone Free when I was in college. I'm jumping ahead, you know, from my singing group in junior high, but I mean in junior high, yeah. But in college, I was in this band called Stone Free. We were like a Jimi Hendrix band with horns.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
We had 3 horns. Yeah, we had tenor sax, trumpet, and I was on trombone. Plus, I was the lead singer.
Oh wow, that's
all right.
awesome.
So and I used to do Angel by Jimi Hendrix, and we did some other stuff, but you know, yeah, it was great. Actually, we did one show. There used to be a club called La Cheetah in Manhattan, and we opened for the Stylistics. They were like a top act at the time, and I remember we opened for them, and so that was kind of cool. And yeah, so but the thing is, I went to a high school of performing arts. You know, that's where that movie Fame was made. I remember that movie. Heard
Oh
that
yeah,
movie?
yeah. No, I remember that.
Yeah, I was at that school. You know, I mean, I was with a lot of talented people. You know, years later, I recognized people. So I remember her. I remember him. They're doing different things. The guy that choreographed the Thriller album was a senior when I was in there. When I was a sophomore, he was a senior. I remember because the music department was right across the hall from the dance department. He was in the dance department. And I could see them, and some of them I knew. You know, I didn't know him by name. I knew him on sight. You know, but yeah, and I saw other people that people that were in my homeroom class became famous. Melissa Manchester was a famous singer. You know, yeah. So, but I went to performing arts. My trombone teacher, you know, he said, "Listen, you can either audition on trombone or voice." See, he knew I sang too, and I guess he thought I had a decent voice, you know. And I said, I think I'm gonna audition on trombone. Now the reason why is I was afraid if I auditioned on voice, I might go in there and I might come out sounding operatic. You know, I didn't want them to do anything to my sound or my voice.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to come. I don't want to. I mean. No disrespect for that. I respect that genre. I mean, I like a lot of music. There's a lot of great guys I like, you know.
But then you would have a lot of training of that kind of sort, and that would kind of manipulate.
That would manipulate my voice. I love sounding like the Motown sound, like David Ruffin, Levi Stubbs of the Four Tops, these famous, Teddy Pendergrass, you name these people. I was into, not that I wanted to sound like them, but I was more into that area, you know. That kind of soulful, I guess you can call it soulful sound. I got accepted, and I was in there on trombone, and
Nice.
I did good, and that was good. I mean, I learned a lot about music, and I graduated and I went to Queens College after that, and I was in Queens College for about 3.5 years, and my girlfriend at the time, I said, you know what, I think that's it on college. I think I'm not gonna continue. I'm gonna go find out what's really going on. I said, matter of fact, I said, I'll probably, I'm just gonna join a band, find out what's really going on. I mean, because I see what this is. I mean, I could stay, I could get my degree and all that, but I wasn't feeling it. You know what I mean? I looked at the teachers. I saw the teacher was talking this stuff. I could see it was his textbook, and I'm going, he was a teacher. That's good. I could become a teacher, but I was thinking more of being an artist. You know what I mean? And I said, and the funny thing about it is, I said, I'm gonna probably join a band, find out what's going on. And I used to carry my trombone with me everywhere I went. I used to have it in my leather bag on my shoulder. And I was on the train one day, maybe like a month or so after leaving college, and this guy comes up to me, this guy, bald-headed guy, comes up to me and he says, "Hey, old man, you play trombone?" I said, "Yeah, yeah." He says, "Well, my band is looking for a trombone player, man, and we might be signing a recording contract soon, man. You be interested?" I said, "Sure." I went and I auditioned for the band. I got in the band, and I became their trombone player. It was like, at that time, it was four horns, was the alto, tenor, trumpet, and trombone, and rhythm section. And it was Crown Heights Affair.
Wow.
I became the trombone player at first, and I was with them, and we did a lot of gigs. That was cool. I was good at it as a trombone player. I knew, my way around the horn and stuff. So, but I was also a singer. I didn't say anything about being a singer to them. I just kind of was in the band. They had a singer. The horn players also did background vocals and stuff like that. So I was in that, and they had a good singer. But they were doing, at one point, their managers had a song that they were working on that they were really, really, trying to get it right. And I was listening to the song, and because I'm a writer too, a composer, I kind of knew I was kind of really duplicating where they're trying to go with it. And I just, at one point, I just said to them, I kind of raised my head, "Excuse me, I think I know where you're trying to go with the song. You mind if I try it?" And well, I went with the song, and I put in some different things that I thought would be in the song, and I wind up becoming the lead singer.
Wow.
I became the lead singer, and the other guy was, at some point released or whatever, and I wasn't trying to take his place, he could have been another singer in the groove or what like that, because I could have just been the trombone player that sang lead on that song, you know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
But he wind up out, and I became the lead singer and the trombone player. And that song went on to be in the top 40 Billboard chart.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
What song was that?
That was "Dreaming a Dream."
Dreaming a Dream.
"Dreaming a Dream." It's been out there still. You can Google it. You can see it on. But they got two versions. You got to put in the vocal version, because we had it back at the time. It was kind of like disco and stuff going on. So we were on RCA Records, and at the time, we had the idea, let's make a disco mix, instrumental mix. So we made an instrumental mix too, and I'm on the instrumental mix too. I'm playing trombone, and you can hear my voice at some point. I do this high note. I was kind of known for doing this high note, and yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the thing about it, Joe, I wrote the guitar solo that the guitar player does at the beginning of the song.
Oh, yeah?
I told him exactly what to play. Yeah, so he played it note for note what I told him, and that stuff. That was the actual intro to the song.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah. So I always had a musical ear,
Well, that's awesome. So, all right. So, "Dream in a Dream" by Crown Heights Affair.
Yeah.
All right, and then, but then later on, you went on to do some solo stuff, and you have some of your own solo music.
Yeah, I've always been writing a lot of songs. I wrote with people. I get this girl, Helene, I wrote with Helene, and I wrote with, later on, girl Cheryl. We wrote a lot of songs. And I wrote we got a musical that we've written, excuse me, that we did the lyrics and music for, and somebody else did the actual storyline. And these are projects that are still in progress. They're not, they just haven't moved on. I could always use that patron, that backer, that person to come in and like help us move it along, But and I also, I have my civilization project. But to answer your question, yes, I just write a lot of songs, and I got some that are done completely and some that are just in my head.
Right.
I mean, I can think of, yeah.
All right. So, real question: playing in the city for all these years, you've been playing since the '70s in the city, right?
Yeah.
In New York City. How has it changed over the last, like, what was that, about 50 years almost of playing?
Well, I mean, I did some in this city. I did shows. I did stuff in the village. I did stuff uptown and some of the clubs that were uptown. We played Small's Paradise up in Harlem. I played at Lincoln Center. They had an outdoor thing. They used to have an outdoor concerts. I did an outdoor thing there with Crown Heights. I did stuff in Brooklyn. They have a big stadium in Brooklyn. I forgot the name of it. It's where Curtis Mayfield got injured. But it was the same place. And a lot of people, we were doing, at that time, we were on the show with Chaka Khan. We opened for Chaka Khan on that show.
Nice.
Yeah, so, but a lot of my later shows were not in the city. My shows are more like Westchester, New Jersey, Poughkeepsie, upper New York.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of shows out, Chance Theater, which is up in like Stanhope, New York, or something like that. Yeah, but inside the city itself, I don't say I did some shows, but not a whole lot. My group Crown Heights, we went out on the road. I was in different places, Ohio, Boston, DC. Yeah.
Right. Okay. But like the crowds back then to how the crowds are today, right? Is there a big significant change, or is it like pretty much the same?
Well, obviously it's a different period, but the crowds are, I don't know. I would say they come pretty much the same. Really. Like this audiences that really just they love your music. They love your music. When I do shows, I mean, people are up dancing. Like they're, if it's at a club where they can dance, they're on the dance floor. And guess what? At some point, I'm on the dance floor with them.
Nice.
Because I'll have a cordless mic. That's another story in itself. That this is my whole viewpoint on performing is like it's a participation activity. It's not just, hey, look at me. It's like I got to get the audience involved. You know what I mean? It's a real dynamic. And once I learned about communication, I really handled my shyness of performing. Whenever I perform, if there's a way to get out in the audience, I'm out there in the audience. If it's like a low stage and there's steps or something, or the stage is low enough for me to jump off, I'll hop out in the audience if I have a cordless mic. That's just the way I am, because I got to feel the audience. It's just something that's a natural thing for me. It's like I can't just stand there on stage and just sing, look at me sing, no. I mean, it's like, hey, we're in this together. We're making this thing happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I got to say, there was a performance that I saw you do, right? I'm sitting in the crowd and the music starts coming on and I can hear you, but no one knows where you're at.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, here you come running from back, coming right up, singing the whole time. And oh man, it was such an amazing performance. I don't even think you got on the stage in that performance.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever got on the stage. You just were walking through the crowd. I mean, it was an amazing performance. I mean, it was so good.
Thank you. Yeah. Some of those things just spur at a moment. I just tell the guys, the MC or whoever, I said, you know what, I'm just going to start this from back here. Just start the music. Because I wanted to just feel the energy right away. I wanted to be in the mix, of the audience, just the energy. So like once I felt that, I probably didn't go on the stage.
No, I don't think you got on that stage. The music started. Actually, no, you started to sing, and then the music came on.
Oh.
And then you came out through the aisle, and you just came right around, going around people, singing with them. It was. I mean, you got to see this guy in action. If you see this guy in action, you are in. This is a show, really. But yeah, all right. So actually, I have a song that you did, and we're gonna play it for everyone right now.
Oh, okay.
More than over half the people in the world today are searching high and low for freedom. I can hear them say, help us build one. Come help us build one. Yeah, 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 yeah. Civilizations come and they go, all throughout the ages of time. Won't you come join us? We're building one fine nation, civilization. I hope you'll understand, one fine nation, that the world is in our hands. A sailor man, a carpenter, a fire or policeman, ministers all lend a hand to anyone who needs it. Help us build one. Come help us build one. Yeah, 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 yeah. Civilizations come and they go, all throughout the ages of time. Won't you come join us? We're building one fine nation, civilization. I hope you'll understand, one fine nation, that the world is in our hands.
They call this the home and the land of the free. They build brick walls around the artist community. Never say less, but before you rest, let the sun shine on and help us build one. Communities built on trust like a head rush. You can't bust the sentence without saying what or who what says I cannot say. When I say the same things that you might say, so never riff about the if of a kind. It's time to realize, open your ears and eyes. To be as one, you must enforce, but never caught shade, but never tamed by the human force. And each and every man, woman, and child, it's not an hour, but it's foul. To put a stop on the useful information, I gotta push up ahead for civilization.
Civilizations come and they go, all throughout the ages of time. Won't you come join us? We're building one fine nation, civilization. I hope you'll understand, one fine nation, that the world is in our hands. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I'm really feeling, this whole movement, civilizations, and the artist is girl named Vera. She
Mm-hmm.
goes by Vera Land. She actually she just heard my song and was inspired to just do this painting, unbeknownst to me. I didn't even know she was doing it.
Really? That's actually really cool.
And then she came to me and she said, I did this painting based on your song, and she showed it to me, and I said, wow, I think that'll look great on a T-shirt too, you know. So I wind up putting this T-shirt together. You want to see it? I got it.
Oh
Right here.
yeah. Let's see the shirt.
I don't know how. Just let me know if you can see it.
Ah, wow! Look at that. The shirt. That is so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So I call it the T-shirt with a song. And on the back, I have this QR code,
Oh,
which is is at the bottom. It says hashtag help us build one, right? And the hashtag, it leads to this foundation called the Way to Happiness Foundation, and I connected with them because they have these 21 precepts that just talking about some basic things that we should do as people, like, take care of ourselves, like, don't be promiscuous, just treat others like, I'm paraphrasing, like treat others like you'd want to be treated, support a government that's for the people. I mean, it's just got different things that are so cool that you can't argue with them. It's like, it's all kind of basic truths,
nice.
So yeah.
So what inspired you to write that song? Like, what's the story behind that one?
Well, I just looked at what's happening on the planet, man. One of my experiences, I experienced suppression early on in music. Unfortunately, I had to get out of my group because I just realized there was some stuff that was happening that was, I would say, unethical. That I couldn't continue with the group, and unfortunately. And I did a show once with my group, Crown Heights, in I think it was Boston. We were performing in some club, and Earth, Wind, and Fire was performing down the block somewhere as well, the same night. But we had a good crowd, and a lot of magazine music people there and stuff. And we did our show, and we're feeling good about the show. And then we were mixing with the audience after. And this guy from some magazine comes up to me and he's telling me how great I was. He was like, really thought it was cool. He really pumped me up. I thought he was like really being nice. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he says, but you'll never make it because you sound too much like Al Green. You'll never make it. And I went, huh?
Wow.
Like it just like was like a knife. It's like, because I didn't even see it coming. It just kind of came like, whoa, and I went, whoa. I went in after I left him, I went in the bathroom and I couldn't hold back. A few tears came down my eyes, Nobody in my band knew about it, that happened. I didn't say anything. My managers were there too. They would have been pissed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure, of course.
They would have been pissed. But I just kept it to myself. I just said, okay, all right. I just kind of got myself together and just kind of went back out there. And because I didn't think I was trying to sound like Al Green. I love Al Green, but I wasn't trying to sound like Al.
I was going to say, what's wrong with Al Green?
Yeah, that's right. Al Green is great. That's almost like an acknowledgement if you sound like Al Green. I mean, like, hey.
Thanks.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about? But the way he said it made it seem like the fact that he said that you'll never make it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just make it negative.
Just making it so negative that I just kind of like was crushed for a moment, but somehow I came back. Because I always feel like I'm supposed to do music. You know what I mean? It's not like something I want to do to just get girls or just to kind of like be a singer to, just get fame. It's not about that. It's like my job. Mm-hmm. It's like the thing I'm supposed to be doing, and I've never really kept for too long, any real 9-to-5 job. Always, this was kind of just something to help me through a period as I strengthen my music thing, It's still a journey. I'm still on the journey. There's no end point. It's like it's a journey. Like I said, I got all these songs I've written with several different people. Once I vibe a person to write with, the magic just happens. It's like, at times I like there was a time I just have a piece of paper by my bed because I would wake up in the middle of the night thinking of an idea for a song. or lyric, and I'll go, oh, that's the lyric. And I'd have to, and so it got to the point where it was happening so often that I got to the point of just having a piece of paper by my pen and paper by my bed.
Nice.
So I would just wake up, turn on the light, and just write down whatever note, and then go back to sleep.
Yeah, I learned a lesson many years ago. If I'm playing guitar and I come up with something, right, on guitar or piano, whatever, I got to record it right away. There was one day I was playing guitar and I came up with this really cool melody riff thing. I was like, man, and it just, I still remember how I slid my fingers around and stuff like that. I can't remember what I played though. I'm like, man, that was going to be an awesome, amazing song. Can't find it. Can't find it in there ever again. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, those are jewels. Those are jewels. So that's a lesson. I'm the same way. So I think I even use my phone right now. There's a voice recorder in my phone. If I think of something and I go, even if I'm in the subway station, I'll just do it with the background noise of the train coming in or whatever. I'll just kind of put that melody there because I'll still hear it later on, even though I got all this other distortion in the recording.
Yeah, but that day when I did that, it was the last day I did not record something. Ever since then, I bought like a little tape recorder. I had that. This is how long ago that was, right? But I would like, okay, let me tape, and then now we get the smartphones and stuff. I recorded on there, or I just recorded right on my computer right away.
Yeah.
I'm like, no way, I'm not missing out on anything ever again.
No,
that was such, yeah.
Those are gifts that come to you. I really feel like, true artists, like if we just listen for it or whatever, or we just kind of like in the zone, it comes to you. Like your fingers will just go to it, or the words will come right to you. I mean, I've had songs like someone will be talking. You're making me think of this. I had a person, I was talking to somebody and they said the word rendezvous. And just the way they said, they were talking about something and they said rendezvous. And inside that song, inside that word, and I looked up the word rendezvous, the letters, even the way it's spelled, spoke to me. It was so aesthetic. It's such an aesthetic word that I wrote a song and recorded a song called Rendezvous.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
I mean, yeah, I recorded it, and it's like I was really obsessed with that title, and that's what happens for me. I get like that.
So, all right, so this is interesting. So you write music based off of the lyrics first, and then create the music for it?
Well, a lot of times it comes at the same time. In the beginning, it was coming at the same time. Like I'll hear a lyric and I'll hear the melody simultaneously, right? I did, but then sometimes I'll just get some ideas, and then I realize they're just poems, or at least they start out as, because I got a lot of things that I just write that are just I don't hear any music for it, and I kind of go, well, maybe I don't hear any music for it yet, so let me just write it out, and I just call those like poems or something like that. You know what I mean? And I'm also in the middle of writing my story as a book, like like I've got my own about my life. I started it and I got several hundred words, so far. I think maybe 1,000 words. I looked, it shows you the count, how many words you got at the bottom. But I mean, whenever I get a chance, I sit down and just add to it, because I got different chapters, like the whole thing I was telling you about, going to performing arts, and the whole thing about using my horn as opposed to my voice to audition. I got that in the book, And also, I forgot, I didn't tell you this early on. I used to be very literal. When I was a kid, I was actually born in Harlem Hospital. And I guess when I was around 2 or 3, my father used to, get me to walk, right? And he'd be holding my hand or whatever, and he would walk down 103rd Street, I think it was, and at some point, I think he let my hand go. You know what I mean? It's almost like you could teach somebody to ride a bike. You hold the back of the bike, and at some point you just let it go. And they think you're still holding onto the bike, but they're like you're like several feet away, and they're like looking around. You're on your way. So I mean, my father said to me, he said, once you learn to walk, we moved to Brooklyn. So in my mind, the way he said it, I thought, this dude made me walk to Brooklyn. I mean, that's just how I was thinking. It was just so literal like that. But anyway, that wasn't true. He didn't make me walk to Brooklyn, obviously. But anyway, it just made me think of that. That's in my little book I'm going to write to at some point.
Nice. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
All right. So, those shirts. Do you have those shirts for sale? Civilization shirts?
I want to get them going. I want to get them going. I would like to get. What size are you? I have a few left. I think I have a large. See, what happened was I did a test run. In other words, I just said, let me just order a few of them. And I had somebody that is in the business. They promote sneakers and stuff like that. I forgot. I think it's what we call themselves. Floby.
But I'll tell you what. If anybody who's watching this is interested, just let us know. We'll get you a shirt if you want one. I'm extra large, by the way.
Well, sure, we'll work that out. I want to get. Yeah. Yeah, what size are you? I'd like to send you one.
Extra large. I'll take a shirt.
What are you, what?
No, XL.
Yeah.
I need the space.
Yeah. Cool. You got it.
Awesome.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I got it. I sent one. I did it. Yeah, I give this. I've done several podcast things, and I wind up doing that. Because I only have a few left. I'm going to get it. That's the whole thing. I want to do this project to really get it going. This whole Civilization Now project, and the song with the T-shirt, with the mission, with the Way to Happiness is like a package that I think if I get with the right like-minded people that can see the vision, we can make a dent. I'm not saying we're going to solve the whole thing, but we can at least make a dent in what's going on. This planet and the people going in the right direction, because a lot of people are looking for answers. A lot of people are looking to change the conditions of what's going on. They're seeing things are just not right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The math
Absolutely.
is just not adding up right.
And honestly, I think music is going to be a big part in salvaging the planet right now, because it's a lot of crazy stuff going on. You're right.
Yeah. Music is the answer. Artists are the answer. Just artists in general, just painters, singers, songwriters, sculptors, actors. You look at things like Hamilton that came out. They just mixed that up with different characters playing various roles that are the person that was actually the real original person wasn't white. I mean, it wasn't black, it was white. You know what I mean? But they got it such a way, and people are accepting that. I mean, that's change. That's a movement of accepting, hey, we're all human. We're all, we're in this, I unfortunately haven't seen that show, but I've seen a lot of, scenes from it. And I think the guy, Lynn, is awesome. What he created, the guy that created that whole thing, so, I mean, I'm just saying that as one thing. There's other artists that are just doing stuff that are saying yes, or saying no to how conditions are, saying yes to positiveness. Yes, we can change this thing, Anyway, it's a ball of confusion right now. We need to have some stable data out there, some stable things people can link on to and say, good, I can ride this wave. This is stable.
Right on. Well, thanks for coming on. It's been great talking to you.
Oh, man, we're done already? How long were we on?
Almost an hour.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, it was great talking to you too, man.
Yeah. But so, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe this, and we'll see you guys next time.